Is he longer? Is he longer than Yoda?
Yeah.
He's the longest.
No, he's the longest games. This guy will stay in the game forever. And this was, I'm not just saying this because the up and downs guys, you may not remember this guy deeply, but his games have historically been ridiculously long.
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy that would be like, well, I can't lose in this map, and he just turtles for like an hour.
No, he makes for some long games, so this will probably be one of our longer days here. So lots of StarCraft 2 for everybody.
No, I'm actually like so excited to see him go up against PartinG because ByuN is really hard to kill, man. Like,
well, you know, this is a guy that was using Reapers a lot early on, going into mech. He's another player with a lot of personality. You might not recognize him. That's PartinG. Just got a new hairdo.
That's right. He just joined SKT1, and for those of you that are kind of new to the whole StarCraft Korea scene, SKT1 is the most legendary team from StarCraft 1. It's the team that Boxer built back in the day.
Right.
It had just it's a ridiculous amount of champions. I love Uv and Boxer and Bisu.
It's like the Yankees of Korean esports teams.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. It's like the ultimate team.
You know, that's interesting. If you look at, he's in every single code as for 2012. Yeah, not anyone's for 2011.
Complete badass. He'll probably be in everyone for the next couple years. To be honest. He's that good.
Tell me if I'm correct about this. I heard that, actually, I'll get onto this in a second once the game starts, but baseball question I was going to ask you. Somebody told it to me, I was very surprised, but I'll get onto that in a second. What are your predictions here?
I think PartinG wins this 2-0 or 2-1. I could see either one.
I think PartinG wins no matter what. I actually think it's going to be 2-0, even though ByuN's really good and hard to kill.
Yeah. Well, ByuN has a very different style, so if PartinG is ready for that, should be good.
This is a really micro-intensive matchup in mid-game and late game, and that's PartinG's forte. He's like the first best player in the world that's micro player. Well, one of the first, you know?
Yeah.
Especially for a phase in the game where it's figured out normally micro players don't have as much success. But this guy is the exception to that rule. All right, so let's get ready for game number 1 with ByuN and PartinG. Introducing our players. In the red, in the upper left, we have heavy stamina player. He is ByuNPrime. And in the bottom right, we've got our Protoss player, the world champion WCS last year. He is
SK Telecom Team PartinG.
Now, what you were talking about before, Tasteless, I want to... Oh, go ahead.
You know, I wish I had... I had this conversation a few months ago with somebody. Someone explained to me how baseball works and why the Yankees are oftentimes not popular.
Okay.
And it's not because necessarily the Yankees always win, but okay. And I'm so sorry, guys.
People like the underdog or something?
No. Because like the way the format's set up, like the amount of money your area can invest or something like that into players means that they're always going to be able to get better players. Like they have more money.
Yeah, the Yankees have like the most money.
The most money by far, but if I understand some other sports, it's not like that. Like you can't, you get sponsors and stuff like that, but you can't have the same kind. Basically, the way it's set up is that the Yankees will always be able to have the best players. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Like no matter what. I mean, I guess that's probably true for a lot of sports, but there's other sports I think like for something. There was some of the. Oh God, I wish I can't do this justice, guys. I'll look this up and I'll bring it up in the next cast tomorrow because it was some interesting fact about like how players can be distributed, and that like baseball is in some ways not as fair as some other sports like basketball in that sense. Or I'm not sure. Let me get back to you on that.
No, I'll be interested to hear what you have to say on that. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm full of interesting stuff.
Yeah. Guys, this is open up pretty standard. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about something else that you actually brought up about how, you know, PartinG is godly micro.
Sure, go ahead.
You know, everyone has something that they're basically best at.
Sure.
The thing is, when you get to the top, everyone's a complete package as well at this point. It
right.
wasn't like that 2 years ago.
When I say it's micro is a micro player, that does not mean that PartinG like is forgetting pylons and not macro.
It's like PartinG is a complete player. He's God mode at every single thing, but The thing that is perhaps most striking about him is his unit control in battles. So, that's, and the thing is, everyone has something, like when you get up to the very top tier where it's like, well, this is what makes this guy so special. Aside from being good at everything, of course, and having so many skills. Like, for instance, Lucira that we just saw, mechanically, he might be the best Zerg in the world. He's definitely one of them. You look at, like, Nestea, one of the absolute smartest. All jokes aside, his brain is what makes him so good at StarCraft. And, you look at Bomber, macro. He just macros so well. And the thing is, there's multiple people that have macro stuff like that, but, everyone has, like, a superpower almost, as funny as that sounds.
Well, I mean, it does sound funny,
There's
but it's
so
true.
many ways that you can be good at StarCraft that everyone has their own little combination of things that they're good at that makes them a good pro.
It's like seeing a bunch of different superheroes, like a bunch of the X-Men or something.
Yep.
Characters from the comics.
All right.
Not just the ones that are in Professor Xavier's Academy. It's Magneto's minions, too.
That's right, and you know what? They're not necessarily bad. They have some different political views.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're just saying I can't get along with, the humans. We don't need them anymore.
Well, they're just being preventative for, All right, so Byun here is actually teching out. Now, Byun plays TVP way different than most people, okay? He uses more siege tanks than most. He'll tech more than a lot of people. And as we hit the late game, he goes really heavy ghosts and quite a few Vikings. And that's actually something that's been catching on against late game Protosses as a way to actually stay cost efficient against the ultimate Protoss armies. And it can work out pretty well, and he's very good at that. So, but what matters right now is checking out what exactly are we seeing here from Byun. It looks like we're going to see him go into maybe Cloaked Banshees, maybe some Siege Tanks, maybe some sort of like 2-2-2 or something like that.
Sure.
And moves like this can be very, very powerful.
All right, Cloak on the way, along with the Banshee.
And PartinG actually throws down a 7-minute robotics bay. And that's really good. He already has his 4 gases.
Very early.
Yeah, it is.
But that's okay. Now, the only problem is that when you're going for Colossi super early on, you don't end up with a lot of Stalkers.
That is true.
So there might be a Stalker deficit here when the Banshee actually comes.
Yeah.
Now, then again, if he gets the Observer in here and just sees the Banshee coming out here, he just won't make the second Colossus, and he'll just make another Observer and try to catch the Banshee. So, and if that happens, Byun could be in a lot of trouble because when you invest in Banshees and Cloak and you don't do a lot of damage, and is he going to see this?
He'll see it eventually. He's, nowadays you actually have to fly in from the side against Korean pros because they will catch that Observer on its way in and you won't know what's going on, which actually destroys going robo. There's no point. So you have to be very sneaky with it. But anyways, PartinG actually has already chosen the right tech route. And I would say against Byun every time you want to open Colossus. And in fact, he's opening Colossus with 2 forges. And once he sees the unit composition he's against, absolutely the right call.
All right, Cloak is up. Nice. Completely denied. He only took shields off the Protoss' army, and that's not good.
No.
Unless you're Protoss. Then it's great. That's the best thing that ever happened.
That's true. All right, so we actually do have a Twilight Council coming up. It looks like this may be a 1 Colossus build, which I'm actually a little bit... Okay, he starts Thermal Lance. I was going to say I'm a little bit surprised about that because when you're playing against Siege Tank, you want to get like 2-3 Colossus.
This better be pressure.
Yeah, I think
this is no way.
This is going to be just pressure.
This cannot possibly. He's doing the tasteless build.
Well, you have to be...
The delayed tasteless build.
You know what? He might just try to snipe some Observers here and utilize Cloaked Banshees to actually kill the Colossus.
Now, that would be smart.
Yeah, that's... But PartinG, I think, is too smart to allow his Observers to go too far ahead of his army. But yeah, this is... PartinG's basically playing just right against this. And, that's going to force Byun into a longer game. He's definitely someone that's not very often going to overcommit when he sees that his opponent has the right composition. He'd rather, back up and take the longer game or get a better unit composition at the minimum.
Yeah. All right. Well, medevacs are finally going to come out now. That's a big game changer. for Beyond because he's allowed to finally stim and run in and do the damage he needs to do, and then retreat. And if he goes unpunished, he heals up his army and he just gets more and more and more of a lead.
Now, we do have Blink almost done, so these Banshees are almost not an issue anymore. So that's going to be a very good thing for PartinG. PartinG, in the meantime, looks like he's about ready to take his third base pretty soon here. And, you know, that wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea.
Tanks are these tanks are not. Oh, I guess I see what he wants to do. He could just go into siege mode immediately if he sees him coming.
It looks like he's actually going to attack here. And wait, how many Vikings do we have? We only have one Viking.
This could actually work out really nicely.
We do have 4 siege tanks though, so he's got to be really careful about that because
especially with stalkers under the Colossi like this, it's like it's just gonna hit everything.
Oh, he doesn't have stim yet. Oh my God.
This actually. Well, I'll have it like right about now.
This could get pretty crazy, and in fact, he does have to run. Okay.
Yeah, he can push that turret.
Yeah, he can still poke some for sure. You know, Colossi do have really good range. But yeah, that against a bunch of sieged up tanks, that shouldn't really work.
Nice timing there with that one stalker coming out there and getting hit before the other one could come in there and do some damage. Oh, missed up. Like, I said missed up, but I meant messed up. Nice harass though here.
Just sending a few of these in, and he's got to be careful not to lose them though.
All right, he blinks out.
PartinG almost a little bit overzealous this game so far, to be honest. I'm surprised he just continues to push. You know, siege tanks are literally the ultimate defensive unit, and you know, just to continue to push against this, I really feel like PartinG would have been better off already making that third Nexus when I was mentioning it before.
Well, look at the supply count now. I mean, Terran's in the lead. He has no third command center, right? There's no third command he can land over there, right?
I don't believe he does.
See one.
No,
he does not. Okay.
Yeah, and well, PartinG continuing to try to do something with these Blink Stalkers. I like it, trying to be active with them, but you know, this type of army is going to be hard to attack against PartinG who has the Colossi. He's going to have to siege up quite a bit. But PartinG's brought most of his army home.
It looks like Beyond might actually push.
He might look at his supplies.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got a solid
There's no
army.
need to... Yeah, he's going to push. So this is a nice little move here by PartinG to just try to see if you give me a good... Okay, he's going all in. Pretty much. Well, not all in, but he's sent a bunch of SCVs. So if this doesn't work, he's going to be in trouble.
No, I think all in is a fair statement. He doesn't have a third command center, so...
He's moving out now. Well, I guess he could, if he minds on his main, which is going to happen right now, he could let me go to the third, but up.
Now he's got to be really careful here against these 3 Colossi.
That's exactly what you want to do. When you see SCVs in the army, you just force field up 5 times or stall.
Yeah, he needs to buy a little bit more time. He's got 2-2 still on the way. If he can get that finished before an actual engagement, that would be great. I don't know if that's going to occur, though.
I think PartinG might just die.
There is that possibility.
Forges are like right in range. Yeah, -1 upgrade for you. Lol.
And here we go. The siege tank's starting to do massive amounts of damage here. A ton of Marines and Marauders pushing forward, and it looks like PartinG may not, in fact, have enough here.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is an upset.
A little bit. I actually have a lot to say about this afterwards, but Byun he's doing a very good job against this. And PartinG, well, this is not a situation where you're normally going to come back.
Yeah, it'll really depend on how much damage the Colossi can do, but I think there's just too many Marines that Marauders and extra tanks. Siege tanks can deal so much more.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So this is a ton of damage. PartinG supply is down at 50 at this point against 106 of Byun and GG. All right, wow, craziness. Okay, so let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
At first, PartinG was doing just right. If you see a siege tank-based army, which Byun uses a lot against Protoss, you really need to go up to 3-range Colossus. And the charge is actually going to be more important than Blink. I kind of like the Blink to try to deal with the Banshees, but the fact that he tried to attack up a ramp into siege tanks and then continued to try to do things such as Blink into a 2-base Terran with Medevac, Stim, Marauder, Marines, and siege tanks, I mean, PartinG was like trying to kill someone much lesser than him. I felt like he was,
Well,
he's like, well, this guy is like so easy, I'll just kill him. No, I mean, he should have sat back and utilized his powers against the weaknesses of the siege tank, which is you stand near their base. As they walk out, you slow them down with your range crosses, make them siege up, and then back up.
Yeah.
And then he buys himself so much time. He could have been maxed out when that push got there if he had handled it correctly.
They could have engaged each other that way. It started out really well and just kind of went downhill. It looks like he basically concluded that, yep, I can just kill him, and refused to accept that he's not dead during that timing attack departing into the turret's base. And he didn't shift gears quick enough, get another Nexus up, and, you know, follow through. All right, guys, we're going on into game number 2 here in round 2 with Byun talking to himself against PartinG, not talking to himself here at the GSL.
Battle of the glasses.
Battle of the bad eyesight here at the GSL. In the upper left, we've got our Terran player. In the red, he owns a puppy, which I'll get to later on. He
owns a puppy.
You almost spilled water out of your nose.
Yeah, I almost
with that
did.
one. Remember, you guys should check that on YouTube. Type in Byun puppy.
Yeah.
Taste it, GSL, something like that. In the bottom right, we've got our Protoss player, a world champion, but right now he's on the ropes. He is
SK Telecom Kiwa, PartinG.
Okay. Well, you know, sometimes I see PartinG do a game like that, and I guess he doesn't really play against Byun's style very much, because to be honest, out of top world-class Terrans, basically no one plays like Byun. You know, you might get a few guys mixing in stuff like that, maybe sometimes Keen would try something like that. But Byun has a little bit different style than anyone else. But
yeah,
you know, I think the thing is PartinG, just the players he plays with, he's at such a high level that he's practicing against people that don't do that, so that makes it harder. Whereas he, as funny as it is, if he like made a new ladder account and just played the ladder for 2 days, he'd hit plenty of people playing like that.
That's
as
actually
he
what's
climbs
funny
up.
is, like, you know, if you play against the best, you do get in a weird microcosm where there are strats that win games but are not as popular.
Yeah.
And in case you don't have experience against that, you're like, well, what? You know, this guy, you're doing it wrong. And, you know, guess what? It doesn't matter because his response was not perfect to that. And so, you know, a win is a win.
It is indeed.
As Shakespeare said, you know, a win is a win. You know, it's how you become a champion.
Yeah, and
read Hamlet, guys.
I guess that's probably what he said.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was in Othello.
Okay.
A win is a win. When you flip all their pieces over onto the white side, and you're like, ha ha ha.
Oh, that's right. Excuse me. I'm got to work on my my literature knowledge.
No. All right, so I think this is going to be a proxy robo or Stargate. Well, obviously it's going to be one of those. I'm excited to see which one.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Stargate, but
That
the
would
fact
be
that
cool.
he's going to go on the low ground with the probe makes me say no. It's going to be a robo.
Yeah. Look at that manly robo position.
Once you proxy the gateway, I'm like, oh, he forgot about warp gates. He doesn't need to do that.
Robo, there you go. Okay, so it's just going to be a little Immortal push. We actually saw this before on this map. And of course, the way the top of the ramp is and the back rocks are, you definitely can put on a lot of damage. And in fact, it was Squirtle that we saw do this, right?
Yeah, so I think we're going to see the exact same strat.
See, that actually makes sense because PartinG and Squirtle are good friends. And actually, when PartinG was first coming up, every build he used, Squirtle invented.
Yeah.
Squirtle, another player, his superpower, brain.
Brain, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's interesting to actually think about it and figure out what is someone so good at. But yeah, it's a strong build, and we'll see if Byun is actually going to be ready. And here's the problem with Byun: he's making a factory right now, as opposed to more Raxes. If you have more Raxes, you can get enough Marines out that you're going to have an easier time holding this.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's teching up like this, I actually already feel like PartinG's going to take this.
Yeah, this should be pretty short. Yeah. This is rock, paper, scissors situation. It's unfortunate because if you really think about it, if I know Byun watches all the GSL games, all the pro gamers,
they at least have someone on the team telling them what happened.
So, you know, when you see something like this and you're thinking, well, I mean, PartinG and Squirtle are best friends and teammates. And this is a very specific build that Squirtle did earlier this week or last week.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wouldn't recommend this.
Yeah. Well, you know, Byun does have his own style, and you know, it's hard to guess that this is exactly what PartinG will do on a map Byun picked. So
That's true too.
I mean, we'll see in a second here if he can actually hold, but yeah, he is making another bunker, and he does have a reactor on that barracks. So, I mean, we'll see, man. There is the possibility he can hold. But if he loses those Marines, okay, he sees what's going on now.
He knows.
And if he gets Siege Tanks up with Siege mode, that can be a big deal. Because obviously it's not going to be good against Mortals, but if you crush everything else, the Immortals don't matter.
Now, guys, if Protoss doesn't succeed with this in the next, I'd say, 5 minutes or so, this game's over.
Absolutely. This game's going to be decided very quickly.
All right, here we go.
All right, so the first bunker is going to go down, and he's going to be able to kill off these Marines as well, which is very important.
What? He actually lifted up the... he, like, lifted it up and ran away?
Yeah. All right, well, trying to snipe off. He has to be super careful with that Siege Tank because obviously the Immortals can kill it in a matter of seconds.
Now, this is going to supply block the Terran, which is one of the beauties behind.
You know what? I think Byun is going to hold this now.
I think you're right. It depends if it's a tank shot, though.
Yeah, he has that second bunker, though, and 2 Siege Tanks in Siege mode. Look at that. He's making a little wall.
Yeah, he gets it up right. That's so money.
Anything he keeps in front there. Look, he's just going to pulverize everything that's not an Immortal, and if the Immortals try to kill the bunker, they'll take so much damage from Marine fire that then the tanks will deal their full.
Here's step 2. You lift the command center off and you leave. You just lift off. You do not try to hold this.
Do not
hold this. Do not hold this. Do not hold this.
He really needs to pull up. He cannot be going
All right, he's going to lift.
Okay.
He's going to lift.
He might even leave the command center there and take some damage before he goes, to be honest.
All right, nope. Whoop. Now he messed up the lift.
Uh-oh. This was a smart move by PartinG. He's going to take down this other bunker while those Siege Tanks are way out of position. Now he's got to bring up all his SCVs. He's got to keep those Siege Tanks alive. The Immortals are trying to get close enough. They're close enough to one of them. One of them does, in fact, go down. But still, 3 Immortals do remain alive.
There's no Siege Tanks making right now. Oh, you know what? I think he's done it. I think actually PartinG turned it around.
I think you're right.
It was the panic siege mode.
Yeah,
out of position.
Absolutely. And
wow.
in fact, he's still doing an okay job, but you know, it's just
the
too much
remaining
damage.
3 Immortals. I mean, they're too strong.
19 supply. I don't think so.
Not so much.
But you know what? Byun almost held that, but PartinG was just
making him dance there for a second.
PartinG was so smart to go to the back and then run up to the front real quick. Byun overcommitted to the back defense, and he even, you know that. Wow, that was a hard position for PartinG to execute perfectly.
Well, that was the moment where you realize, like, the Eminem song comes on, it's like, you got one shot.
Yes.
You know, and like...
That's what it sounds like, actually. Are you Eminem? Or are you the real Slim Shady?
I'm the real Slim Shady,
okay.
Yes. No, but that was like, the all-in's done. He's like, well, there's one more trick. You know, if there's one more thing I can do that might trick him up.
Yeah. Well, it totally worked for PartinG because Byun actually, he almost held there, man. It's actually hilarious how good Siege Tanks are against Protoss units.
If Siege Tanks are set up and you can't get to them within maybe 2 volleys, then you are actually in a lot of trouble.
Again, the ultimate defensive unit.
Really is.
All right. Well, we're going to be going into Game 3, and it's going to be Planet S. So that's going to be Byun's second choice. Or,
no,
that's Byun's first choice, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see how Byun wants to play on this map. Have we seen many TVPs in GSL on this? I don't know that we've seen any yet, actually, for TVP. I've seen a little bit in Pro League, but I don't think we've seen it on...
I don't think so, but don't count me on that. You know how many games we end up casting here. It can be kind of a blur.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So, going into this match, again, the map is going to be Code S. Or Planet S and Code S, excuse me. So, remember, there's a lot of interesting things Terrans can do on this map, and it's a map where Siege Tanks are especially strong because of that.
Think he'll go Siege Tank again?
I hope so. I'd love to see him do it.
I love Byun's style. It's cool. It's fun, refreshing, tasteless, just like Hot 6.
All right, let's get ready for more action here at GSL Code S. In the bottom left, in the red, almost holding off the all-in from PartinG, best micro in the world coming from PartinG, still almost held it off. He is
ByuNPrime.
in the upper right, we have a world champion, but he has to win this game to go on to the winners group here. He is
telecom Kiwa, PartinG.
Okie dokie. And a gas first for Byun. Nice.
all right.
Well, gas first.
Probably, I think quick Banshee,
You think quick Banshee?
maybe even a proxy Banshee.
It could be some sort of, yeah, you could be right.
You know?
You think it's going to be a 1-1-1 or just like a Banshee harass?
I
or...
don't think it's going to be a 1-1-1 because of the way this map is shaped. I think 1-1-1 would suck on this map. I could probably be more articulate than that.
I've seen 1-1-1s here sometimes in Pro League.
Well, here's one thing though. Sometimes a map where a 1-on-1 does not get on means Protoss will actually just avoid ever having to deal with that and get greedy, and then they get punished. But
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope that what I just said there makes sense to people at home, because that is this weird thing that can happen where it's like, well, Russians suck on this map, and therefore Protoss will always go Nexus first, and because of that, suddenly a hyper-aggressive all-in rush works because the player's banking on you being smart enough to not ever do this because it's not optimal. It's weird how it works.
If a build is bad enough, it becomes good eventually in certain situations.
Yeah.
As stupid as that sounds.
No, but it's true. It is. I hope that makes sense for you guys at home, because it is very true.
All right. So, PartinG. He's seen the gas. He knows the gas time. He knows the factory.
Yep.
Does he make a command? He's going to make a Nexus. He's not going to get a St. Gas. He's not going to make any units. He's going to rush to that expansion and then try to deal with this probably via overwhelming his opponent. But we'll see exactly what he's going to do. A reactor on the way.
This is getting kind of weird.
Well, I'm really excited. Is he going to throw down the starport?
Well,
because obviously, you get Hellion Medevac Marine is so good.
Yeah.
But we'll see here in just a second. Come on. Show us. Starport. Bam.
Boom.
All right.
Biggity bam.
Biggity bam. Just like Taysa said.
Yeah, man.
All right. Hellions, Marines, maybe a Medevac coming out. Could still be a Banshee on the way. Byun does have his own unique style. And actually, a couple more gates on the way. So it looked like PartinG was going to go for a fast expansion, but instead going up to 3 gates. So I would say most certainly we should see some pressure out of him. You don't want to just open 3 gate into expand. That doesn't really make a ton of sense.
Well, this is going to be bad if Byun gets cloak, and I think he is, so.
You think he, oh, God.
You know, I mean.
Oh, he doesn't have his St. Gas.
No, never mind. Oh, God, I thought he did. Excuse me. Oh.
Ow.
Oh, poopy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Jeez Louise.
Foiled again on TV.
Yeah. He is actually going straight into the Nexus off of 3 gates.
Okay.
Not a counter you normally see against this. All right, well, let's see. Stalker going to start harassing. Another Hellions coming home to actually pick off the Stalker. You know,
swarming the Stalker like bees.
You always think that Hellions aren't good against Stalkers until you see a situation like this, 4 against 1. As long as they got their friends, they're tough.
Now, good job there. He hit the medevac. Now this is going to be a little bit hairy.
Now we do have this 3 gate pressure actually going on now. And you know what? Picking off some of these is really nice because he wants to do aggression with these, and suddenly we realize there's not a lot of units out here for Byun.
Right, they're sending the SCVs in the front here. He might want to put 1 or 2 on auto repair. Okay, there he goes.
Good call. Now he's trying to get this bunker up. If he can get it up, maybe he can start to hold this a bit better. But as of right this moment, this is a great situation for PartinG.
All right, he's pushing forward now. I think he's going to barely hold this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at what cost? He's going to lose a lot of SCVs. Keep in mind, there's not another quick command center.
And a lot of those Stalkers actually in the deep red. One of them does go down. You know, Byun is losing more than just mining time in SCVs. He's losing any timing to do any true damage because, look at this, PartinG go up to a 4th gate. He can easily warp in units at home. No possibility of, with the units that Byun has, doing any damage if PartinG plays safe from here. There's just no way. He's not going to do anything. All PartinG has to do is spread out his units. He knows that he can make another round, or another 2 rounds even, of units before attacking, because he's seen that there's no second gas, so he knows there's nothing scary coming.
This is not a normal PBT opener for either side here. This
No.
is kind of a treat to cast, actually, because...
Good call by PartinG, though. I like that.
Yeah.
The fact that he went right into 3-gate.
Uh-oh, gonna lose some sentries here. Those force fields definitely didn't help.
Yeah. A little bit of damage going on. It's nothing too severe yet. It's actually interesting that he had every single stalker in the main base.
Well, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, he's thinking, well, the guy's going for medevacs. I mean, how many times do you see people go for medevac and then actually drop with the natural in a situation like this? He's probably just hoping that he'll catch ByuN in his routine and get him.
That is true. All right, well, PartinG right now is actually taking a 5th gateway. So we're definitely going to see some more pressure coming on by him. We do have a siege tank on the way, but it's a bit too late. There's definitely siege mode just started. So ByuN is going to have to ditch the command center on the low ground for sure. And will he be able to hold the top of his ramp is the question. And will it matter is the question after that.
Nice target fire here by ByuN.
Yeah, he's actually dealing a pretty reasonable amount of damage here.
Sick micro by PartinG.
Look at that, gets out of there with no force fields left. He can't quite trap the Marines.
Single file, folks. All right, going through there now.
Siege tank coming down with some Marines. He
gets one more force field here. Oh, man. Okay, he's actually going to get it. If he gets one more force field at the ramp, okay, well, it doesn't matter. It's gone.
Yeah. Well, this is bad news bears for ByuN. He's so far behind on expansion. His tech may be ahead, but he's not been able to get any true damage on.
The tech is not helping him keep himself safe for attack, so the tech is sort of a moot point.
Yeah, siege mode almost done, but it looks like he's going to be broken just before that.
Well, he's like, now it's my wallet.
It's 1/3 his, and only for 14 seconds. Okay. Siege mode does go up. This will make PartinG go back for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to actually attack up there. I mean, he just has to make sure the command center's down on the low ground. So the problem with if you get behind when you're going Marine siege tank is there's really not a way to catch up.
Yeah.
It's sort of based off the premise that this is a really hard unit combination to deal with at this point in time if you're not completely prepared. But when you're behind in doing that, I mean, there's no catch-up trick.
I agree with you in like 99% there. The one thing that we've seen it several times today and said it even more. The siege tank is the ultimate defensive unit.
Yes.
And one way to come back, you don't always have to come back through attacking. Sometimes you can come back through defense.
Oh, no, that's very true. If you're just like non-stop defending and then they end up feeding into you.
Exactly.
But, I mean, that's based off the premise that you're going to win by them making a mistake.
Yeah, which is never the way you want to do it. You should always want to try to win through your own skill and forcing a victory rather than your opponent messing up against you.
Sure.
But you know what? Everyone attacks a lot, so I feel like that's ByuN's. I feel like that would be his best chance here, is to play a very extremely defensive game and try to be ultra cost efficient against any attacks that PartinG does.
Well, we got Storm on the way here. PartinG's basically completing the tech tree. He says, all right, ByuN's going to turtle, that's fine. I'm going to finish every possible tech I have. And then I'm going to expand a bunch because he's going for siege tanks. He's in the defensive mode. And it's going to be hard for him to attack me. And that's how you want to play it. Whenever you're ahead, you get more ahead, as Artosis always says.
That's true. Well said, Tasis.
Thank you.
You said my quote really well.
I think I've been practicing in the mirror for a few weeks now, so I'm glad I finally got the courage to just kind of say it, you know.
Well, we have some interesting
when I was practicing, though, I had to say it in my rubber Artosis mask just to get the kind of
I actually...
the freaky rubber mask I have of your face that I've never shown you that I keep under my bed.
Well, that's actually really sweet because I have one of you.
Next to my handcuffs. You have a rubber mask of me, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
That's great.
I want to dress up as you for Halloween next year.
I was thinking we should do that, actually.
Just dress up as each other.
Well, it's either that or we go for Mario and Luigi, but then we have to fight over who gets to be Mario when it clearly is supposed to be me.
I think we should just both dress up as Nesty.
You know we should dress up, but actually, yeah. I was going to say we should dress up as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but then nobody would know it's us, so it wouldn't be as funny because we'd have our masks on.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. That's for like, yeah. What else can we dress up as? We'll talk about this while we wait for this potential killing blow. to come here.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, hold on. He's making a wall. Now, there's Storm, but if he dodges the Marines wall and puts up that wall, he's not going to break
This could be the situation you were talking about, but I'm
Yeah.
fairly sure that PartinG...
Oh, okay, he loses. GG.
Okay,
You know,
shocking defeat.
If he had sat back...
Yeah, I know, it's kind of sad.
That was exactly the situation that I was talking about, where, I mean, the worst situation in the entire world would have been for PartinG to actually attack into that with siege tanks all over the place. That's why I was talking before in game number 1. When you see siege tank Marine, you want to go Colossus, because the High Templars can't close on siege tanks, whereas Colossus can do it a lot easier. So that was, wow, ByuN lost a ton there. that was painful.
Well, I mean, ByuN's driving him back, but that's not really a victory here.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. How in the hell is Terran going to get a third base? Probably will not get a third base.
Well, if he continually produces siege tanks, he could eventually get one, because siege tanks just like... See, he's trying to lure units back right now and actually deal massive splash damage to him. And I mean, he's killing some stuff. The supply isn't as big a deficit as you would expect from what's happening in this game.
Sure.
But, PartinG is just going to continue to take bases.
The thing about ByuN is he is very tenacious.
Yes, he doesn't give up.
He does not give up. So we'll see. You could see what PartinG's plan is here, is that if he can't get in, at least just occupy the third base, keep pylons there. Something to make sure. Oh, nice again.
Wow. Storm is good against Marines.
Yeah, it turns out, yeah.
ByuN, I feel like he should be leapfrogging, definitely not walking out with everything. This is like how you lose to this.
Scan the outside of his base.
Okay,
All right, now
here's
this
the real
game's going to be over. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And...
Well, this
ByuN,
was a hard spot
here.
for ByuN for a very long time.
GG. Really well played, though, by both guys. ByuN had a very strong chance, I think especially in the first two games, of pulling through with a...
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess in game number 2 is what I'm trying to say, because he won game number 1. He's pulling through with a win. But really nicely done there by PartinG. So now it's going to be PartinG up against Lucira. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty sick.
You can see the stress in ByuN's face right now. Those are tense games.
Yeah, that's, he's going to have to go down and fight Ryung, who's a TVT expert. So
yeah,
that's a tough match. It's not what you want to do. He much would rather have a couple shots again into Codes rather than have to climb back from the depths of the loser match.
It's a tough group, though, to be frank.
It is.
It's a group where everybody plays very different from the other player. It's got 3 races in it. This is a really hard group. We're going to take a quick little break, and when we return, we're going to go ahead and go to our match number 3, round number 3.